Yep, I'm ready to start. Yep, I'm ready to start. Yep. Nice. That spoils the surprise, I guess.
Okay, so good afternoon, folks. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to Top Clack this week. As you can see, and you probably heard a second ago because I sillily forgot to turn off a bit of audio, you can see that we have got the wonderful, worldwide, international renowned, the international kit master himself, Kwer, on the stream today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
How are you feeling today, Kwer? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, thank you. I'm fine. Well, considering what time of day it is for me, at least, but it's nearly the same time for you. I mean, last time when I was on with Brian, that's a whole lot more difference.
Yeah.
In time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's well, it's 5 to 2 here, and I think it's 5 to 3 for you. So.
Yeah, it's hard, but dual coffee stream to this time.
Yeah, dual coffee stream. Yeah, we both need it today. Let's see what we've got in chat. Lubed Helio's got first today. He was an hour early. He was here at 1 AM my time, so it was 55 minutes ago, so he gets first today. Acidic Pure is here as well. Good evening. Frops is here too. I think Fropsy was posting, because they could hear you, Kwer, in the background because I forgot to mute you. Whoops. There we go.
What can we say? Well, that's production value for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was in too much of a rush to go get coffee. That was what the problem was. I was rushing off to get a coffee before we started the stream.
Anybody can appreciate that coffee is more important than checking those little details.
Yeah, absolutely. Skewed, thank you very much for the 10 months of subscriptions at tier 2. That's very much appreciated, dude. Thank you, dude. Gia says audio leak. Yeah, it was a simple mistake.
If that's the only problem for the whole stream, I'll be a happy camper. I mean,
exactly.
Last time my camera failed, I think, at one point, or the picture failed at least. I think there were some other audio issues, so this would be the smallest issue we had yet. Fair
enough. I think the rest will go just okay. People will tell us if there's any problems.
Hopefully.
Apparently, you're a lot louder than I am, so I'm gonna drop you down just a touch in the volume. I think that's just Kwer's voice. Kwer's voice just carries more than mine does.
That could very well be.
Yeah.
I think also my room is more echoey, so.
Right, okay. Yeah, I've got the whole ceiling here is covered in sound deadening tiles for the stream, so yeah.
I should do that at some point. But the wife acceptance factor is a bit problematic at that, so we'll see.
Sure, yeah. Well, this room is mine to do as I please with. The wife doesn't tell me anything about it, so she doesn't care. As long as I'm happy, she's happy. Kajahata says, if there was a 24-hour stream, it would be cool to do a porting with ports section with Merlin so Brian could learn more about layers. Yes, functionality isn't just about the keys you have on the top layer, guys. It's about what you can do with the board. It wasn't ruined, boy. It wasn't ruined. It was a secret intro. It was all planned. That's what you don't realise. It was all planned. We were just doing a steady release.
We didn't want to do the bit with Gordon Ramsay again because I still didn't practice my Gordon Ramsay. So, yeah, we went this route.
Absolutely, absolutely. 10 strong, wishing Brian. Well, I hope his back feels better soon. So yeah, so for those of you who are watching, the reason Kwer's on the show today is because Brian's not well. Sadly, he's got some problems with his back. He's been to see a doctor today. He's just not feeling up to doing the show. I'm sure he'll be back next week or the week after. So I hope you'll join me in wishing him well and hoping that he gets better soon, and all the best to him, because back pain is not something I would wish on anyone. It can be really discomforting and ruin your day every day when it happens. So
absolutely,
yeah. I hope he gets better soon. Fropsy says, Kwer and Jay, the only people I will do ISO for. There you
go. I think we both have something, or at least you have something on the docket we can both talk about, and I could get some more of those, but we come to that on the mailbag.
Absolutely, yeah. A1A said it's J and Better J. Okay, so you're Better J, I assume. That makes sense.
That's kind of unfair. I mean,
no. Petrov says, wow, amazed you got Ralph Fiennes to co-host. I think Kwer's better looking than Ralph Fiennes, so there you go. Okay. So this is the pre-show, guys. We'll get sorted with the actual show shortly, and we'll open up with a bit of an intro in a few minutes' time. Just waiting for it to hit Brian's magic number in terms of the viewers, and then we'll make a go from there.
3 is the magic number. Oh, I shouldn't think. I mean, if I learned one thing from podcasting, it's don't think when a microphone is on. That's a very bad idea.
Yeah, for sure. Jay, plug your cables all in the way in boot. They are plugged in. There's nothing wrong with my cables. There's nothing wrong with my cables. They are all the way in. It's definitely a stream setting somewhere in Streamlabs that's the issue with the audio stuff. Yeah.
I mean, if you change it every week between you two, no wonder that there's a problem.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is we need to just stop it all, delete everything, and rebuild it from the ground up. That's what I think we need to do. So
that's usually what you should do, but what nobody does. I mean, you work in IT too, and I think the word legacy is something you are very familiar with.
Yes, technical debt, legacy. Yeah, I'm familiar with all of those things. Yeah. Mountain Blocks, thank you very much for the 1,111 Happy Thursday bits. Thank you very much for those. Appreciate that. And Jay Shuff as well. Thank you for the 500 pre-show bits. That's always good to see. Heavy breathing is so sexy. Who's breathing heavy? Is it me or is it Kwer?
Probably me.
I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah.
Petrov likes it either way. Petrov likes it.
Just call it ASMR and be done with it. So.
Yeah, ASMR. Top Clack ASMR stream. The ISO ASMR stream. That's what we should do. That's what we should do. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I hope this now is the chance for any IC or group buy who doesn't have their ISO support ready in their threads to do it now. We're going to refresh the pages. Because, I mean, this is the ISO trouble team. So if you don't have ISO support, you're in trouble.
Top Clack ISO. Yeah, Top Clack ISO edition. That's the thing. Pub Goku's here as well. Good evening, Pub Goku. I hope you're enjoying that lovely polycarbonate whale that I built for you a couple of weeks ago. Because I'm sad that I had to post that to you. Nebulant playing it the opposite way. He's saying everyone go take out ISO support.
You could do that. I mean... You could do that, but I don't know if then you would still be covered on this show. At least tonight.
Yeah, this particular show. Yeah. ISO trouble team. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. ISO troubleshooters. That's what we are.
You know what this reminds me of? The what is it from Pokemon? The the song or the thing that the enemies. What's the name? Team
Rocket.
Team Rocket, right?
Yeah.
And they had something like "You're in trouble." Blah, blah, blah. Fuck, I can't remember. Oh, sorry. Shoot, I can't remember.
Yep.
You know, another thing that's good about podcasting, you know, don't usually do it live, and you just can cut everything else you don't want anybody to hear.
Yep.
So
not here. Watch those terms of service.
yeah. I realized. Well, at least I think one is included, right?
Yeah, you get a freebie.
That's nice.
It's the first TCF bomb of tonight, I would say, Pilot. I'm pretty sure we've had them on the show before. We try not to swear straight classy. We try not to, but sometimes it just happens when you get very frustrated and, you know, or you're just talking conversationally. It just happens, right? It's just one of those things.
Especially if you're talking in a non-native language, at least for me. It's kind of I'm more open to swear when I'm talking English than when I'm talking German. I don't know why, but
right, okay.
Maybe it's because I learned so much English from watching American TV shows or
maybe, yeah. I wish I could speak German, but I can't. I know, like,
it's a hard language. It's a hard language if you don't learn it from the as a kid.
Yeah, you have like 7 or 8 different ways of saying the word "the," right? You have like
der, die, das, and then it gets complicated fast.
Yeah.
And that's the main problem, like a lot of people, especially English-speaking people, have German language, identifying when to use which of those, because often it just makes no sense. Let's be honest about it. But, I mean, it makes sense if you know what you have to know about it, but when you're coming from the outside, it just makes no sense. And I can accept that. I can see that.
English has got all sorts of those weird rules as well. There's some really weird ones. Like if you think about words like flip flop, you always do the word with the I in it first. So like chip shop as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
you would never say flop flip, and it sounds wrong to any English speaker natively because you do the word with the I in it first. It's the word with the I vowel sound in it before the A or the O or the U, or the E.
Nice.
So yeah, you'd always go the I sound first. So flip and then flop. So yeah, it's another interesting fact for you there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm learning.
Yeah, exactly. But that's one of those strange unwritten rules that you would only ever know without knowing if you'd grown up speaking English, and you don't actually know it if you thought about it and wrote it down and analysed it. You just naturally absorb that kind of stuff. Yeah. Cozy Fanny 2T, thank you very much for the 8-month sub, 8-month streak as well. Thank you very much. And Super User 4 as well, 11 months now. Thank you, dude.
I mainly use ISO-DE on my keeps, Wilson 1155, but I do have some key sets now that don't support ISO-DE as a layout option. So there's no Norder or International Kit for them. And I've come to terms with it. I mean, I kind of know what is on a German layout keyboard, so I can touch type. That's not the problem.
Yeah. It's less of a problem for me with UK ISO support, but I completely appreciate the cause.
There's just one thing that I always miss when don't have an ISO-DE.
If your camera focuses, is that the MUJI key?
Yeah, trying to. Maybe I have to.
Oh, there you go. Yep, that works. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean that's the best key that ISO-DE has to offer.
MU, yes.
And all other layouts should adopt that.
Cool, nice. Okay, guys. Well, we're now past the view account that we like to see, so we are going to start the main show. So we're going to run through an intro, and then we'll start the actual main show. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, guys. Welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. Today is the 12th of December, and today I have Kwer at the side of me as co-host. This week, Brian is off ill, but we've got the wonderful German Kwer here to entertain you, regale you with ISO stories, and point you in the right direction when it comes to key set compatibility. So I hope you give him a big round of applause and claps, or whatever else you can do in chat for him getting up at really short notice as well. I only asked him a few hours ago, and joining the stream what is 3 a.m. for him, so it's very early in the morning for him. This is very much an EU-driven show today on US time. So give him a big round of applause, guys, and give him some Fs in chat for his late time starting as well. How are you feeling today, Kwer? How are you doing? You excited to be here?
Really excited. I was a bit surprised that you asked me to do this, but I was really happy to do it again. The last time was very fun, and I was happy to get the chance to try out the other host of Clack. So now I've tried out both, or will have tried out both after the show, and then I can decide who I want to try out, work with next time.
Right, okay, so this is like a popularity contest between Brian and I for your affection, right?
Or maybe next time we just cut you and Brian out completely, and I don't know, me and Gasp do it or something.
Okay.
So
I think the cuteness factor would be too overloaded if it was you and Gasp. I think you need to calm it down some way. So
you and Gasp already came pretty close, so it could very well be.
Okay. You got quite a lot of Fs in chat there. You got more than I would have done if I'd have asked for them for me. So. Planning for his succession takeover? No, there's no takeovers. Nothing like that.
No. We're all friends.
Yeah, and Kwer's got the International Kit podcast as well, which if you guys haven't checked out, you should check it out. theinternationalkit.com, is that right?
The-international-kit.com.
There you go. Yeah, go listen to the podcast, guys. It's really good. You got a new episode coming out before Christmas, or are we waiting until the new year now for your next episode? Or
not per se. We're currently working on something for the end of the year. It's not going to be a real episode, but more on that hopefully this weekend.
Okay,
so
cool.
Look forward to that.
Excellent. Yep, definitely looking forward to more content. Okay, guys. So we've now had a look at the start of the show, but I think the key thing I'm interested to see, Kwer, is the mail call, because you've got something that I'm quite interested in, I think, as part of your mail call. So do you want to start us off for the mail call today?
Just let's do that, because I have the least of us. So I got actually just one keyboard related thing in, and it's desk mats, interestingly enough, and so it's not one of the usual vendors, I think. This is a new vendor that I don't know when they started, but they contacted me and asked if I wanted to try out the desk mats or see them for myself, and I said yes. I mean, new desk mats, I'm always happy for that. And I got sent 2 of them. They're from Capsule.io, so it's capsule.io. I got one that is called, let's see if this works. It's as you can see, lots of switches. That's better lighting. So, and the other one is currently pinned down by my lights, I just realized. Maybe I can at least show a corner or something. Second. That's production value for you. But this should work nicely. It's blue, I don't know. Pattern. Quality-wise, they're really, I mean, they're nice. They're pretty much the same than any other desk mat that you can buy currently. Mm-hmm. And they have some nice new layouts, patterns, whatever. So you can check them out. Like I said, they have a website. They also do like smaller mouse pads, not only the large ones. These are obviously the larger ones because I prefer the larger ones, but you can just get smaller mouse pad size. Okay. And quality-wise, they're absolutely okay. Just you might run into problems if you're outside NA because they're NA based and apparently shipping is a bit problematic. So you can always get in touch with them, but Check them out.
They look good. Yeah, nice.
I like them. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, I've got a few things. The first thing that that I actually got, you might recognise this actually, Kwer. I'm going to take it out of its packet. You might recognise this because the first thing I got was my the one I actually bought, the second international kit enter. So thank you very much for the freebie, but I bought one as well and got a nice little sticker with it as well. So I think that'll replace my old version of the sticker, which was a little bit different. As well as that, I also got in all of the IDBs last week. So those of you who saw me on stream on Sunday will have seen that I got all of the IDB boards for the group buy-in. So I got all of these lovely shiny steel boards. You can see all the fingerprints on it as well. I did show it off on stream a little bit on Sunday.
That's just nuts.
Yeah, it's stupidly heavy as well. That one base piece is like 2.4 kilograms or something. Really, really heavy. But that does mean that I am ready to ship the group buy as soon as Christmas is out of the way, so that's the good news on there. Also, I did get another ISO enter key, just a single one, but this one was from 159 at Project Keyboard. So this is the ISO key I've been looking for.
The Holy Grail! For
GMK Honeywell. This is the single ISO key. It's not in anybody's set that I've spoken to here in the EU. No one in the EU ever got the grey key. Everyone only got the red key, but now I have the grey one. So thank you very much to 159 for sending that over to me. It was very much a nice gesture. Keeping on
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. Keeping on the IDB kind of train, I did actually also pick up this week one of the original prototypes. So I bought this off someone who joined the prototypes. This board was the one that, for those of you who tried it, that I took to Seattle, which has got the prototype 1.2mm PCB in, which is slightly different to the group buy ones that have got a 1.6mm PCB in.
Flexi boy.
Very, very flexible. So I know, Gio, if you're watching, I know you really, really interested in having that board, but tough, it's mine now. So there we go. I also got some key sets in as well. I got Waves, so GMK Waves came in last week. Again, those of you who watched on Sunday, you will have seen this set. So this is the actual key set from the group buy. As you can see, it's pretty nice, very bright greens and blues and all sorts of other colours. So that was on stream on Sunday as well. Then since then, I've had a few more bits coming as well. I finally got the signs kit for Metropolis, so really interested to get using those on a board as well.
Yeah. Can I just, I mean, at that point, for every group buy runner, please include ISO, artisans, keys, whatever in those kits, because the ANSI key is really nice, but I can't use it.
Yep.
Which is shitty. So just saying that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also got the Midnight kit for Metropolis as well, so I will be using that too at some point soon. Although I might mix that up with a different key set for some different alphas. And then the final thing that I got this week was a Christmas gift from MyKeyboard.eu. So Yulia sent me this as a Christmas gift, which was the Korean beige alphas to match 9009, any other L9 sets or anything like that. So
that's a nice gift.
Yeah, thank you very much to Yulia for sending me that through. So that's Sondat's Korean beige kit. But yeah, there we go. Jay, left channel keeps going out. I can't fix it, guys. It's not the mic. It's definitely not the mic. It's something to do with Streamlabs. I really don't know what's causing it. Let me see if I move my mic a little bit closer, if that fixes it. Yeah, but it's definitely not your amps, guys. It's something to do with the way that we have the setup in Streamlabs that's different between my mic and Brian's mic, but everything looks like it's recording okay in Streamlabs, but then when it comes out through Twitch, it's not. So, I mean, Kwer will vouch for this. My mic sounds fine in our audio chat, right? It seems...
Absolutely. No problems in Discord. So...
Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with the levels on either side coming through the chat, so we're having problems diagnosing what the actual problem is. So if there's any audio people out there that can help us diagnose that, then definitely help us out with that. Okay, so that's the announcements all done, or the mail call all done. We're now rolling into the announcements, sorry. And the only one we've got today is the international kit. Not the international kit, I'm reading the wrong thing. Is the, it's 2M, guys, it happens. Is the JO1 raffle ticket. So you can buy these on Novelties, guys. It's still live. It's live until the 23rd, so 10 days left on this. And we're going to draw the winner on the show on the 26th of December, so just after Christmas, which is the day we're going to open up our Secret Santa gifts as well. And there so far has been 1,600 of these tickets sold. So we've sold an absolute huge number of them. So thank you very much for the support, guys. We thoroughly appreciate it.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, right. It's really good. Raising so much money for charity. And Kwer, you're an owner of JO1. What are your thoughts on the board?
Yeah, well, you have to get in on this, because this is probably one of the best boards I currently own. And as you can see, it also very nicely fits this key. So you might want to get one of these with it. You know what? I think I might have left one or two of these. So whoever wins the JO1 gets one of these from me too.
Oh wow, nice, thank you. Something else to check in the box. The box of goodies that come with this board are going up as well. So yeah, we need a Kwer score on the JO1. Okay, interesting. So I'm sure we can arrange that.
Well, it's probably. Well, it's either 5 or 7 or 5 for everything, or 10 of 10. I don't know which system you actually use, but
I think they mean to do it on the J-score spreadsheet.
Yeah,
so maybe we should get you on the stream one week, and you can. I'll stay quiet and won't say anything, and you can give it a J-score with the character.
We can try that. I mean, there's still the JO2. We can maybe shoehorn that in there somewhere.
Yeah, the JO2 will be something that we can get into the J score at some point soon. So I actually had a good conversation with the vendors on JO2. So more news coming soon on the JO2. There'll be some announcements this week, and then an announcement first week in January as well. So keep your eyes peeled for JO2 announcements. And Kwer, you've kindly volunteered to take care of the JO2 for a short period when you take some pictures of it as well. So
I give it a nice vacation home for a few days. So yeah. Definitely.
So as soon as I've got the next couple of parts for that, I'll send
I mean,
it to you.
You have to accept the fact that maybe it likes it here so much that it just wants to stay. So
right, okay.
Preparing for that.
Okay, and there was me thinking you might have wanted the limited edition version, but oh well.
Damn it. You called my bluff.
I did.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Cool. Okay, guys. So that's the announcements over. As I say, the JO1 tickets are on sale until the 23rd of December, and you can pick them up via Novelties. 1,600 and change sold so far. I think it was 1,638 when Mike gave me an update earlier on today. So we're selling big numbers. I want to hit 2,000 because 2,000 is a huge number, and that would just mean the world to me if we could hit 2,000 tickets sold. So thank you very much for everyone's support so far, and fingers crossed we can actually hit that limit. But with that, I think it's time to roll into our news docket. So let's do a quick transition. There we go. And what have we got up first, Kwer? What's first on the list?
First up is wait a second, my tabs are in this. That's what I get from messing with this stuff. First up is the Theo 60. I think it's Theo, right?
Theo, yeah, Theo 60.
Theo, yeah, okay. Just checking from my German speaking. Which is a relatively nice looking 60% board. As you can see, it's looking like most others. I think the best view of it is from the side, because that's the most different. The bottom works too, but 60%, you get multiple different top options, layout options. It supports ISO, so first checkbox done. And yeah, I don't know, it's burger mount system, so no gasket or something like that, or some form of burger mount at least, I think. And well, you get your normal soldered PCB. That's the one that supports ISO. You got your hot swap PCB that doesn't support ISO, which is quite normal, except for one, which we will see later. And it also has ALPS support, but I think we're not sure if the normal PCB supports ALPS directly or if it's an extra PCB, because on the ALPS option you just have the plate. So could be just that for the layout purposes. Yeah. And for your tops you have your normal so full layout, win keyless, HHKB, and a rather interesting blocker option, top right blocker option, which is fascinating on a 60%, don't you think?
Yeah, so this is kind of like the 910 blocker that you get, or the Q blocker that you get in the top right hand corner on a 65%, and you can see it on the image that I've got on screen here, but it's actually on a 60, so it enforces split backspace and then removes one of those split backspace keys to give you a blocker in the top corner. It's the first time I think we've seen it on a 60%, at least it's the first time I've seen it on a 60%. It's quite interesting. Personally, I don't think it works. I don't like that look. I think it looks much better in terms of the wing keyless options and the straight 60, which in those options I think it's a very, very good looking board. It looks really nice and smooth. As I agree with you, Kwer, on the side profile. I think the side profile looks really interesting as well. And the other thing that I do find interesting is the base design as well, because there's a couple of things that are quite interesting here. The first thing is that the kind of foot area at the rear of the board is on a nice slanted curve, so it's got a nice curvature to it that leads it up to the top of the board. And then the second thing as well is that this red bar that you can see here, that's actually interchangeable, so you can take that red bar out and put a different coloured bar in the base. So it's kind of like a hidden accent piece depending on what you want to do with the board. So I think there's a few different colours for that. For me,
it's not a weight in any kind of...
No, it's just a thin piece of metal that acts as an accent. There was an image of it somewhere, I think, in the thread. Yeah, here. So here you go, guys. You can see there's different colours of this, so it just all clips into place, and you've got white, yellow, black, red, and then the rose gold version as well. In terms of the board itself, it's $280 for the base kit, which gives you a few different things. It gives you an aluminium or PC top and bottom case, an aluminium or PC plates, a QMK PCB with Type C, the full bottom case in aluminium or PC as well, the O-rings of rubber. There's two types, two variations, two different hardnesses of the rubber to change the typing feel, screws, and a custom box, and you get all of that for a pretty good price of $280 plus PayPal fees and shipping. So realistically, you're talking $350-ish when this all comes to delivery for the base layout, and I think that's pretty good value looking at some of the design. This kind of broken down image here kind of shows how that base looks and gives you kind of an idea of how the foot on the rear is machined and how the accent piece sits in place. But it also shows here as well how the mounting system works, and as Kwer mentioned, it is a burger mount system, very similar to what we've seen on the Brutal 60 before and other boards as well, with milled machined areas ready for the O-rings to sit into on both the top and bottom of the case. So all in all, I think this looks pretty interesting. The price is pretty good. The base is really the interesting part of this design for me. Other than that, it just feels like another 60, but I'm really not sure I'm keen on that top blocker option in the right hand corner on 60%. I'm not sure how that works for me.
And especially it doesn't look like there's any logo design or something on it. So
yeah,
it's just a blocker. Kind of questionable function wise, at least. I mean, but yeah. What I think what's interesting is that the price is so low because I think I think the base, like this curvature and something that's rather expensive to machine normally.
Yeah, usually curves such as that, so where the foot goes into the curve, that's usually quite difficult and expensive to machine. It does add to the cost, so it's very impressive that they can get the price so low for this, and especially with the colour options available as well. For those of you who are interested, there is an all PC brass PVD or brass sandblasted finish available as well, so you can choose those different versions, but there's no mention of the cost on there. I think the form is already up for that though, so if you do want to have a look at that, you can do. And it is limited to 30 units, and it's only running until the 15th of December, so just 3 days left on this one as well, with the payment deadline of the 20th of December.
30 units seems kind of low.
Especially with to achieve that price.
Options. Yeah, with that price and that options, right.
I have to be honest, if it wasn't December, I'd be tempted by this because I'm really intrigued by that base design. I do really like the base design. So, yeah.
Maybe you're lucky and somebody who buys it sends it to you to build it. So
maybe, yeah, if someone does buy this, I would definitely like to build one and see what that's like. But yeah. Okay. So moving on, what's second on the list, Kwer?
Do we have to do this? Do we really?
Yes, we do. Go on.
Okay. It's the Fallacy, and yes, you're seeing right. This is not the wrong tab. This is an Alice. Clone.
Yeah.
You can't really see a clone, right? It's like a reproduction.
That's probably a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's a tweaked reproduction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an aluminium Alice version with like all the bells and whistles that the original Alice has, except that it's not TGR stamped or manufactured. Yeah, they have like they wanted to use another name, which is also I don't think Twitch TOC compatible, so I'm not gonna say that, but it's on the top of the screen. So if you want that, read that. Comes with the whole kit, right? The whole 9 yards, right? So it's aluminium top and bottom. You got a sandblasted brass weight, the usual 6.5 degree typing angle. It's USB Mini. Which is probably due to the case design. They didn't adapt that for USB-C. Custom designed PCB, QMK compatible with flex cuts. Not sure how much these flex cuts really do. Well, if you go with the polycarb or acrylic plate, POM plate, whatever that is exactly, maybe. Not sure, or half plate, but I didn't see that as an option. Yeah, and the brass weight. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
standard kit at some point.
It is. I mean, just to give you guys a clear idea, there's a couple of differences from the actual Alice. So the first difference I want to call out is that this side profile is slightly different. The Alice doesn't, the original TGR Alice doesn't have this kind of cutaway, so you can get your fingers underneath the board to lift it up. So that is a new addition, which I do like to see. And also this chamfer around the edges here as well is slightly different to what you'd see on the Alice traditionally as well. So there is a couple of stylistic choice differences. And of course, on the top there is no TGR logo as well, because this isn't a TGR board, and there's some slight changes to the front edge as well to make it a little bit more rounded too. But other than that, for all intents and purposes, the layout follows exactly the same as the Alice. Now, interestingly, the group buy runner of this does mention right at the very bottom that they have thanked Yutski for open sourcing the Alice files and giving him the okay to manufacture this keyboard. So this is done with Yutski's blessing, which is, so it's not necessarily a clone, which is usually done without blessing. It's a reproduction. So I think that's probably a better way of terming this, because it does have that kind of agreement in the background to allow it. There is no polycarbonate case option. I'm not quite sure why that's been said no, but it has very much been, removed from the opportunity on this particular board. And as you can see, the colours that this will come in is black, silver, blue, grey, and pink. So quite a few different options. I think the blue-grey does look really, really good. Interestingly as well, the weight is going to come with no coating added because the group buy runner enjoys patina. So I thoroughly approve of that. I really like patina brass. Yeah, it's very much my kind of thing. But he does mention you can add a layer of wax as something if you do want to prevent that from occurring. So yeah, I mean, again, this is it's an Alice, right? It's going to feel like an Alice. It's going to sound similar to an Alice. It does offer more different plate options. I think in terms of the opportunity there, there's clearly PC plates and POM plates as well available as well. So that's if that's up your street, it's definitely something to check out. In terms of the price, I think this is $400, mid-low $400, but that may change over time as well. So we need to see how that goes. Just while we're waiting as well, Japanese Horror Writer, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits there. I do appreciate those. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you very much. And yeah, so the only other big difference, as you mentioned, Kwer, is the flex cuts in the PCB, but I don't see them adding that much flex given where they are and how they're designed on the PCB. I feel that they're probably not long enough to add enough position to give flexibility in the PCB. Usually they'd need to be a fair bit longer because PCB material is quite rigid. So I'm not quite sure how much benefit or not that they will add.
Yeah. And you probably, even if they would add a bit more flexibility, you'd need like a plate that goes with it, or even a half plate option or something. And yeah, I'm not sure that's offered. So I don't know. But I mean, it's another Alice. I personally don't understand why the layout or the board itself is so prominent at the moment. Like all these clones or reproductions or whatever. The lubricante or stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if for people that do want an aluminium Alice, this is an option. I think it's limited in terms of numbers, or was it unlimited? I'm not sure.
Don't remember seeing anything on the limits, so,
okay.
I wouldn't want to comment on that. But yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's an option, to get like your personal Alice, not Alice, the Fallacy in aluminium. I just hope we can get to new layouts at some point on new boards.
Yeah,
so I'm not hating on anything. If you like it, you like it. It's just like I'm getting tired of seeing another somewhat Alice thing.
Sure. No, I get that completely. What I would say about this board is I do prefer the weight positioning on the Fallacy to on the actual Alice. I think that's a little bit nicer. It's much more consistent across the alpha cluster is how I would probably put it. So yeah, I definitely do prefer that. But other than that, you're right, it's just another Alice clone. So if people haven't been able to get hold of an Alice, they want to get hold of one, this is an opportunity for something that's being allowed. So Straight Classy, you're asking there, you're saying, why is this okay? Obviously it's allowed, but is it not a clone? So I mean, the thing is, if these guys have approached Yutsuki Sam, who runs TGR, and they've asked him and he's categorically said, yes, I don't mind you doing this, you can run that if you want to, then if he's giving his blessing for that, then yeah, I'm completely open to that. There's no problem with me doing that. It's the same if someone came to me and they said, can I run the JO1 and put a different logo in the bottom? If I said yes, well then that's fine for them to do so. If I said no, well then it would be very much against the best wishes and best intentions of the community. So I think where permission has been given to run a design, I think it's absolutely fine to do so. There are some slight changes from the original on this one, so the side cutouts that I mentioned previously, the redesigned weight, the slightly different front curvature, and then also the typing angle as well, I think is slightly changed too. So you know, there are some differences that may or may not benefit you, but it's up to you if you want to take a look at it, guys. Okay, moving on, we've now got the group buy for the CU65. So this is a board run by Caps Unlocked. So we've recently seen the previous version of this board, which is a TKL, the CU80. I had that on stream as well. So there's a few different specs for this before I show you the board. This one has an aluminium top case, an aluminium base plate, an aluminium foot bar, a rubber foot, a USB PCB, and a foam insert as well. In terms of the specs, it supports ANSI and ISO with hot swap sockets on the same PCB, might I add. So on the same PCB, you can have both ANSI and ISO hot swap, which is the first time we've seen that. The standard hot swap sockets as well. So these are the KL hot swap sockets we've seen before. Standard bottom row, 6.25U and 7U spacebar support, as well as a few other different bits and pieces as well. The MOQ is 25 units, and there's already been over 93 ordered, and the lead time is a couple of months. So just taking a look at the board, this is the board itself. Okay, so that doesn't work. This is the board itself. It's very much a standard 65% with a universal plate that you can see in here as well. From the side profile, you can see just here that the foot runs across the full length of the base of the keyboard, which is one of the problems I highlighted with the TKL, that it didn't run edge to edge. It had like a good couple of inches off the side where it was tipped a little bit in the top corners. So that's been rectified for this version. And it has the standard 65% blocker that we usually see as well. What do you think to this, Kwer? What are your thoughts on it?
It's a very standard 65 universal layout board. I mean, there's not a lot of bells and whistles on it. The most interesting part is probably the dual layout PCB, hot swap PCB. I mean, like you said, it's the first time that we ever saw or heard anything about a hot swap PCB that has ANSI and ISO on it. The problem is there are no pictures yet of the PCB. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they solve the inherent problems of such a thing. But yeah, I mean, for that price, it's a nice option if you're looking for a very simple default 65% board. Especially hot swap ISO board would be something really, yeah, something new. I don't remember a lot of PCBs, hot swap PCBs that are ISO compatible.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There's very few ISO PCBs that are hot swap compatible, and there is very few that are ANSI and ISO compatible. I think this might be the first one that I've ever actually seen. In terms of colours, as far as I can tell, it only comes in one colour, which is black, but it is a pretty cheap price. It's £108, which is £108, which is what's that in dollars? It can't be that expensive.
140, I think.
$140, something like that. Yeah, it's probably around that sort of region, maybe 150. So it's pretty low in the price. It's competing more with boards like the KBD67 Mark II and other things in that kind of price range as well. I think it's fine for what it is. It's very cheap. I think it's a great starter board if you're new to the community. It's good for that kind of thing. Hot swap makes it really easy to change the switches out. The quality will be just okay. I think it's never going to be, and it's not intended to be going up against things like TGR 910s or anything else like that, or Exents or whatever other particular 65% you want to pick. This is very much a budget board designed for the lower end of the market, and I think it kind of fits that quite well, to be honest. It's simple, it's easy, it looks okay. I think
absolutely. For the price, I think it's probably a very solid board, especially for European people, I guess. And for, as you mentioned, like starters going into the hobby, or maybe someone who's looking for a cheap work board or something, this might fit that case too.
Yeah, absolutely. There is also options to pick and choose if you want to have switches, stabilizers, and an assembly service included as well. It's actually free to have the board assembled, given it's hot swap. That's not surprising. It's quite easy to do. I know you've all there was chat about someone charging some silly prices to build hot swap boards the other day, but yeah. So this is something.
Really?
That,
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, there was
interesting.
There was someone had offered build services that were quite expensive for hot swap only boards. I think I don't know who it was. I just saw people talking about it. But yeah, so you can get this board built. You can have switches thrown in. Basically, just Cherry MX RGB switches. You have a choice between a few different options: black, blue, brown, red, silent black, silent red, or speed silver. And you can just add them onto your order as you go. So there you go. That's the CU65 from Caps Unlocked. I'll just put the put the group by thread link in, but I'll put the actual website link in there as well. Okay, so moving on, what's up next then, Kwer? What have we got next on the docket?
If I'm not mistaken, if my tabs are still in order, I think that's it for keyboards. And no, see, I missed it. Ha! But I catched it. Man, okay. But that's the last keyboard for today. It's the Glow Kit, the 1984 keyboard bell. It's a 3D printed kit or case that comes as a kit. That's reminiscent of some vintage board or like 1984. I mean, the name is indicative of it. It's definitely meant to be as an underglow or RGB glow keyboard. I think the top picture says it all. I personally didn't have any of the cases yet in hand or at any meetups or something, but from what I heard, they are very solid, especially for 3D printed setups. I only heard good things about keyboard bell cases, and I think this is a nice kit for what it is.
Yeah.
So you're getting the case, the feeds, and you're getting a DC60 PCB and USB-C, the cherry stabilizers. You're also getting an aluminum plate, standard silver, and the most important thing, which is the secret iced tea recipe. So if you're looking for a hopefully good iced tea recipe, you might want to buy this kit for that.
Yeah. I think for the price, considering what you get, for all of that, you get the case, you get a PCB, you get a plate, you get bump-ons, you get, so interesting as well, you also get two parts of the case, and you get the actual case that you can see here as well, and then you also get this wedge piece that kind of, you can screw to the underside, which gives it a 5-degree angle, so it takes it from flat and then gives it an angle on the board, so you can type at a regular typing angle. But one thing I would say about these boards is that the way that they're 3D printed is really, really nice. The quality looks great. I've tried a few keyboard bell cases and they feel fantastic, and they sound really good as well. I quite like the sound of 3D printed PLA cases. But what I will say is the way that this case diffuses light is very, very impressive, because that's really even when you look at it from on this blue picture.
Yeah.
And there's also a GIF that I had playing earlier on. If I just reopen that as well, you can see that the way the light diffuses is pretty even. There's a fair bit of light bleed in the camera, but you can see that it looks pretty damn good. It's better than some polycarbonate boards in terms of how that diffuses the light across it. So
Absolutely.
very, very impressed with that. And for $119, you get all of that. I mean, that's pretty good going, right? That's KBDfans kind of prices for a 3D printed, what you could technically call an artisanal case, for want of a better term. And I think it looks great as well. I really love this fin design on the rear. I think it looks nice. I like the angled corners, the chunky blockers. It looks very retro. It looks very vintage. Yeah, I really like it.
Absolutely. So yeah, for the price, again, I think it's what you get, and it's nice. You have to really want the underglow. You have to want the RGBs, I think.
Yes.
Because as you can see in the picture, without any underglow, I think it looks a bit, I mean, it's still nice, but this milky white, that's something that looks better in PC. If you have like a polycarb case without underglow, that still looks pretty nice, but here I think you need the glow to really make it, no pun intended, shine.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's probably a fair comment. Classy say he doesn't like it, but that's fair, dude. I mean, we all like our own different things.
And he's not classy.
Ooh, there you go. Kwer's calling you out now. There we go. That's how it is. Yeah, I think this is great, and I think if you're getting a Bell's secret iced tea recipe, which is a really nice addition, just something simple to throw in the case, I think that's really, really nice. So yeah, I'm really tempted to try one of these and just pick one up because I think it's a good price. It's limited to 100 units, guys, and they'll be in stock on the shop as well mid to late January. So yeah, go have a look if you're interested.
I can't even fathom like printing 100 cases. That's wow.
It's a long time. It takes, yeah, so when I 3D print stuff, if I'm just 3D printing a figurine or something, that takes hours. So I can only imagine that one of these cases takes, you know, a day or something to print. So she must have a very industrialized setup to be able to do these.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. Cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we've done with keyboards. What's the first key set we're going to talk about today then, Kwer?
Well, we're just heading classy, and this is, well, that doesn't really work, but I tried. It's GMK Vintage. It's an IC, and you don't have to scroll far to show the whole IC. It's inspired by vintage key sets a bit, and it currently has two color ideas presented. One is the Pantone edition, the other one is the GMK edition. For both, they have the exact colors in the IC, which is nice. But apart from that, there's not a lot in it currently. So I think I'm. I don't know. Without renders and kit setups and stuff like that, it's really hard to judge any of it. Yeah, what your thoughts on it?
I think this has potential. Like, I really like vintage and retro stuff. That's just kind of my thing, and I like bringing that into the modern age. That's why I did the JL1 with the pen rail, and that's why I like the board we just looked at, Keyboard Bell's board, and things. I kind of like vintage stuff that's got a modern twist to it. Now, what this is effectively trying to do is it's trying to take the look and feel of sets which have aged over time and give you a brand new set that has that kind of look. It looks aged. It looks as though it's seen a lot of use over time with those kind of space bars that are slightly different colours and stuff like that. So if anyone's ever picked up an old Apple keyboard for some Alps or some Alps keycaps, you'll have seen this, because the space bars do end up going a different colour. Kwer's got one here that you can see that the space bar is very much a different colour to the alphas. So that's kind of where the ideas come from. Now, what they've got here is they want to do it as Pantone edition colours, and those Pantone colours are there and available to see, which is kind of beige colours, and I think that looks okay. The interesting thing is that they've said that they don't expect it to get that much attraction and attention, and if it doesn't, they've got a variation that uses GMK stock colours. But when Kwer and I were talking about this before the stream, this actually looks like GMK Dual Shot, which is a set that's being run by Dixie right now, which just has a different coloured spacebar and loses the coloured modifiers. So I'm not quite sure how that fits, but as Kwer said, it's a very, very poor interest check. This is literally all the information that's there. A video that shows the inspiration, and then 2 very, very simple KLE renders. So there's no renders on a board, there's no kit breakdown, there's no ideas, there's no other opportunities to look at or see. So, yeah.
I mean, I get the idea, the inspiration with the yellowed spacebar, but I can, well, I don't know, I can see it with real vintage sets, because there's like it's a fact, or you have to bleach them or something, retro bright them, but doing it on purpose for a set, I'm not too sure that that really works. It just looks out of place, especially in this kind of configuration, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but like I said, with a more kit setup and maybe using this as an accent color in an interesting way or something, this could work. But without seeing more of it, it's hard to judge. Yeah, maybe the other one, the GMK option, maybe do a mono modifier version add-on kit for dual shot.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
that could work. But
yeah, I agree on the space bars. I think having the space bars a different color. I see where the inspiration comes from. Don't really like it. My really hot take is that this is just GMK 6s and this is just GMK dual shot, and we don't have anything further to go on from there. So yeah, there's nothing really else to talk about in this interest check. It's really poor interest check, needs way more information, base kit ideas, even if they're not fully formulated, renders, show us what the design's going to be, because in my view, the Vile Bloom set is more prominent on this IC than the actual sets that we're supposed to be looking at. Yep. So it's a little bit frustrating from that perspective. So yeah, there we go. Just before we move on though, thank you very much to Mr. Petrov for the 1069 bits, asking us to talk about how our voices are something to do with passwords. So yeah, but thank you very much for that, Mr. Petrov. Okay.
That's my passport. That's from a movie or something.
It's what they use in banks in the US to be able to get access to your funds. So yeah, okay, voice recognition. So yeah. Right, okay, so let's jump on to the next interest track then. So how do you feel about GMK Prepress?
Yes, so when we talked about it, I think my first comment was a bit harsh. I think first, what is the idea behind it? The idea is, as you might have guessed, is from like CMYK printing, and the IC is set up in a way that's like a printing sheet with cut marks and the colorways and stuff like that. And the whole colorway is set up for that. So you have your gray alphas, dark modifiers, and then the CMYK colors as highlight colors for the modifiers. We don't have any renders. We just have these kit layout basically, or color layouts, which is nice. At least, I mean, you get some kit designs, and there's my main problem with the set. Well, lagging probably, but there just wasn't. We're going to talk about that in a second. Novelties, all based on the printing press thing. There are some nice things, and there's a novelty enter key, which is really nice. I support that. And yeah, lots of colors, lots of mixed colors, which is fitting for a CMYK kit based set. But that poster alphas, man, no.
Yeah, okay. I mean, my first take when I saw this is that I actually really like it, and I really love the base kit. So I like the whole idea behind it. I like the theme. I like the fact that it's based around, you know, all of the kind of stuff that copy technicians do before they go to print for magazines and newspapers and other kind of you know, documentation and things like that. I think it's really interesting. You know, all that kind of typesetting and typography. I really like that. I do really like the fact that all of the legends are changed on this. So you've got things like bleed, you've got things like approved, you've got things like uppercase and process instead of caps lock and things. You know, I just really like that those are very much the you know, the theme of it. And then you've got mount keys for shift and cut, mark and art, and that they're enforced in the base kit is really nice. I love a text-based novelty, and the fact that this set is made up of loads of them, I really quite enjoy that kind of stuff. Kwer, I will agree with you on the poster alphas. Whilst I get the whole CMYK kind of theme behind them, I'm not a fan of those. I think if I'd have done any, I'd have done the number row in that bright pink colour. I think that would have been the one that I would have chosen. I wouldn't have done all three. I do like some sets, like you know, Skull Squadron, where it had the red alpha row and things like that. I do kind of like that on some sets. I'm not sure it would work on this particular set. I'd need to see it in some renders to be able to comment on that. The novelties, though, are really strong. So all the text novelties that we talked about in base, well, you've got all of the icons and different arrow keys and that ISO enter key, which is just lovely with the whole new paragraph symbol on there and everything else. It's really nice. So yeah, I think that's really strong. What is really interesting is in the Overruns kit, which supports some 40% and some other bits and pieces as well with all the split space bars, is the number of split space bar options, especially in these CMYK colours. I think that's quite unique and probably something we haven't seen before. I guess for me, there's probably just too much going on in the whole kit, in the whole set, especially if you buy the novelties as well. It just feels like there's a little bit too much going on, but I do think the base kit's really good.
Well, I just noticed that the F keys are different colors through, and also I can't believe I didn't notice that before, but that the arrow keys are different colors too in the base kit.
Yes.
So you have no chance of a mono colored look on for arrow cluster or something, which could be a bit funky on some certain layouts. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's for a colored press. It's for CMYK, so you want to have lots of colors in. And interestingly enough, I don't know, like on sets with like Oblivion or something, you have also these, or Dracula or something. You have these different colored mods. I like it more on those sets than here. I don't know why exactly. It's just maybe the colors are a bit too extreme.
Okay.
Like they are very bright and very contrasty. I mean, that's the idea behind it. But
yeah, high contrast. Yeah.
Probably a bit too much overall for me, my personal taste. And again, no renders, so the end result colors can be a bit different, a bit hard to judge just from this color sheet, basically. Yeah, probably nothing for me, but I can see where they're going from a design standpoint. I think it's very nicely done.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on needing to see renders. That is the big gap at the minute. We need to be able to see renders to be able to determine what this is going to look like, you know, on a board. That is a big thing that's missing for me at the minute. The other thing that's really interesting as well is that some of these colours are RAL and some of them are Pantones, so it's going to be really interesting to see how those come out, because we have seen CMYK kits done in GMK before, so I'm surprised they're not using the existing CMYK colour accent keys that have been used before, because GMK know how to make those and they've made them in multiple rounds, so I'm surprised that those aren't being reused and that these are very different. That being said, it's clearly someone that's in the industry from copywriting and printing, so I'd like to think that they know a little bit about colour matching maybe and how to get the right colours, so hopefully it'll be okay, but it is just something to watch out with any set that uses Pantone. But Kwer, you're 100% right on when you say that the big thing that's missing here is some renders on a board, because we just can't quite see and visualize how this is going to look in real life when it's sat on a desk. Is it going to be too bright? Is it going to be too noticeable? What's it going to look like with these poster alphas in place? Is that going to be, you know, is that going to make sense or not? Should it just be the Numro or the Afro that's coloured? Yeah, it all needs to be seen, to be honest. The only other thing I would say as well is there's a slight error on the ISO here. So I'm not going to say that it's that they haven't used UK ISO or ISO DE or any of those other things. What I will say is that it actually covers a depleted Vespine. If you're watching, it does cover US ISO for yourself, good sir. But then the error here is that they've missed the tilde markup of the UK ISO hash key. So it's usually hash and tilde just up here. That is missing. So there we go.
And there's no short shift.
Correct, that was the other thing I was going to mention as well. There is no 1.25U shift, so they haven't got full UK ISO, full ISO coverage even in the base kit. Then does need to be a 1.25U mount key added into there. It's not in any of the kits at all either, so I did have a look for that earlier on. I thought it might have been in the Overruns kit or something, but sadly it's not. Okay, but yeah, I'm really interested in this. I want to see how it goes. I'm going to follow this one. It's going to be something that I'm going to be interested in seeing, because I really, really like the idea behind this, and I'm hoping it comes to fruition in a really nice way. I just need to see some renders and see how it goes.
Which should be up this month, apparently. So we'll don't have to wait too long for it, hopefully.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, we've gone full ISO today, says Boop Beep Bep. Yes, we have. Yes, full ISO.
What did you expect? What did you expect?
Top Clack ISO edition, right? That's
yeah, right. This is like...
Okay, moving on to our next set today then, we've got Cat MUJI, which is a lovely red and white inspired set. I'll just paste the link into chat for you guys there. So this is by 6 Degrees, and it's based around the whole ubiquitous lifestyle brand of MUJI. So this is the Cat inspiration for that, and it's got a whole raft of different sets. In fact, I'm just going to open this in the tab so I can show you all of the different things that are available. So we start off with some Katakana alphas, which are available as a standalone kit. Some Latin alphas, which are just a standard, set of alphas that we use every day. Moving down to the modifiers, you've got all the text-based modifiers here, with some extras underneath, which give you most of the coverage that you need. We've also got some icon modifiers as well, again, which will cover most boards from 60% right the way up through to a TKL and all of the unique experiences in between there. Just moving over to the side as well, we've also got some other kits as well. We've got the Spacebars kit, which gives you 6U and some also additional red 6.25 and 7U Spacebars as well, if that's something you're looking for. There's also a full ISO kit as well, which has some interesting and unique keys in there that I'm not quite sure why exist, but we'll come back to that in just a second, because there's these shift keys here that don't really make any sense from an ISO perspective, and there's also these keys on the side as well. And then finally, there's also some 40s ortho kits with an extra B and a numpad kit as well. So Kwer, you spotted this on the UK ISO kit. What's so unusual around this kit here?
The 4 key cluster beside on the right side, like there's page up, page down, home and end. In round 1, round 2, row 1, row 2, and I don't know why that is in there. It's those keys are also, I think, in the normal. No, not completely. The page up, page down is in there, but not home and end.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know why those are in the UK ISO set. I mean, the keys themselves make sense for certain layouts, especially 65%. So putting them in the kits somewhere, very good, but I don't understand why they're in the UK ISO kit.
Yeah, it's unusual and strange, and these two shift keys feel weird sat there as well. Not quite sure what they're for, because yeah, they're not used on ISO. So yeah, interesting that they are there, because at least one of those shift keys is here already in the base kit as well. So yeah, so I get that that's what they're there for, guys, the Magic Force layout, but that's not an ISO thing, so putting them in the ISO kit just feels a bit weird from a cat perspective. It's not something that's usually required from, you know, cat, just due to the different ways that MOQs are made up. That being said, there is no ISO support if you want to use the icon modifiers, and that also moves over to the numpad as well. So the numpad, it just has these icons on the outside, but you don't have any icon modifiers for the enter keys, so you do get stuck with the text legends for those as well.
And you have no text legend for the numlock. That's
yes, correct.
Icon only.
Yes, it is icon only. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So there we go. Other than that, though, Kwer, what do you think to the set? Do you like this set? Is it something?
I really like the colors. The beige red combo really works. I think this will look really nice, especially in cat. You covering pretty much all the bases with the kits and the keys available, except some questionable kit choices, especially for the UK ISO kit. I think this is very solid. I see, but again, no renders, so. And another problem might be it's based on a company, or on the
brand
colors of a company, of a brand.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, on the branding. So this could get tricky fast.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if it doesn't, you know, encroach on anyone's intellectual property, because that looks very similar to the MUJI logo anyway. So the fact that this has just got the cat bit added just feels a little bit, maybe a little bit too close to the mark. That being said, I do really like the set itself. I think it looks good. I think the red works really well with the off-white colour. I think it all looks great. I think the Katakana alphas look great. The Latin alphas look great. I think, you know, everything looks and works well. If the kits are slightly tweaked, I think it looks really good. I think there's still some work to be done on that. But again, we can't see what this looks like on a board, because for the third time tonight, there's no renders of the key set. There is just literally the interest check. So yeah, this seems to be going downhill with the renders lately. We had such a big influx of all of these key sets that had lovely renders and everything else before they went up, and then now we seem to be going back to the basics of people just putting a KLE up and saying this is what I want to do. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, which was fine a few months ago when there wasn't so many key sets, but I mean, with the complete influx, or the continuing influx of key sets and key sets, I think you, as a runner, you need to have a better standard if you want to get your IC or your key set noticed, because you can't get a second first impression. And if somebody just sees the thread, doesn't see the renders, just some kit layout or something, they might just forget about your key set, because there's another key set just around the corner that might rather catch the interest. So I know people want to get feedback early, especially for kit designs and stuff like that, but maybe just get that in private from people, and then do your IC when you have better the key set, the kits fleshed out, and especially renders on boards.
Yeah, for sure.
So just as a tip for aspiring key set designers, because it has been a trend this night or this show with no renders.
Yeah, and I don't think it's the last that we're going to see of sets without any renders either. So
nope.
We'll see how that goes. That being said, though, the next one we have up is a JTK 3600. So this is a new key set designed by Quad H and Goldworms, and this is based on the old Symbolics 3600 computer, which had the lovely vintage keycaps that you can see on screen right here. These are kind of like a beigey coloured keycap with slightly different coloured legends and slightly greyed legends. One of the old vintage colourways, very much similar to the Space Cadet kind of layouts as well from Symbolics that we've seen as well. So very much a historic board. There's also a couple of renders of what modern versions of that might look like from an SA perspective, but this is the JTK version. So this is the JTK 3600 set based on that too. In terms of coverage, this set gives you pretty much everything. It gives you a huge base set that's got numpad, it's got TKL support, you've got options for both standard 7U bottom row and 6.25U bottom rows, multiple different keys for R1, including a cherry keycap, a JTK keycap, and 4 H's and a new logo kind of shape as well. There's also loads of compatibility from an ISO perspective, from using different stepped caps to different controls on row 3 and different shift keys, and pretty much everything you could possibly want to be able to lay out board. So it's quite a healthy base kit, and I can't see anything that's really missing from that. There's also, luckily, there is some renders of what this might look like in real life, and I have to be honest, I think this looks pretty good. How do you feel about it, Kwer?
I really like it. I think it works. I mean, it's proven to work because it's a vintage colorway in a way. I mean, those are just like they have been done, so they can't be that bad. And yeah, but I think what's really interesting is that this is a dark alphas light modifiers set, which are rarely done, at least as default versions, kit versions, and I really like this variant. The colors all work together. I think in the JTK base kit is nicely done, and the price point will be, again, it's JTK, so it will be nice. And I don't see a lot of problems with this actually. I mean, yes, maybe JTK Legends when you're a certain person that always likes to bitch about JTK Legends, but apart from that, I mean, for the JTK price, this will be mighty fine.
Yeah, I think this looks really good, and I think Goldworms did the renders on these, and these renders are absolutely stunning. When you look at these are, you know, ABEC and Max Surfy kind of level quality. These are really, really good. I'm very impressed with these renders. There's a lot going on in some of these designs and stuff like that, so I'm very impressed with that perspective. I'm going to be really, really controversial and say something that's a bit of a hot take now, and I think this is the set that GMK Sandstorm could have been if it was actually good.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I just really like this set. I think it looks great. I like the dark alphas with the light mods. I think it's unusual. It works really well on this particular set. The renders show it off really, really well. It looks great, and you know, I'm all over this. It's JTK. I don't usually buy JTK sets because of the lack of ISO support. This set has it, and if this goes to group buy, I'm all in for this one because I think this looks really, really good. This definitely gets a stamp of approval from me.
Just one little thing. It's missing a render of the ISO setup. just saying. I mean, I know I just bitched about not having renders at all, so I'm very happy about that, and they're really good, as you said, but please include at least one ISO render. It's just
yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe
this is the ISO show today, so I can say this one time.
You can. Perhaps I should have had them do a render on the JO2 to see how that looks. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I think this looks great, and I'm dead excited to see this come into group buy. So just in terms of that, it's going to run in January 2020. There is only a base kit. There is no other kits. There is also going to be some nice sorting trays, so you can see on JTK Aqua here, they're going to have these really nice hard cased sorting cases that it'll ship with, and there's going to be a European, a US, and an Asian proxy, and Korea will be running the group buy, so the guys in Korea will be running this directly. So the colour is very much custom, so I'm not sure if it's a Pantone or a RAL or what they're using, but this is JTK, so the colour matching is going to be a very different process to what we see with GMK, and if this looks half as good as what it does in the renders, I think it'll be an absolute winner. So yeah, dead excited to see this go to group buy. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, what's up next then, Kwer?
Next one is an interesting set. Did you just jump? I think my tabs are out of order again. Yeah, I missed one. Obviously, I missed one. I just sorry guys, it's the tiredness. It's just that's my. Okay. Anyway, we're on KAM Little Pilot. Today we're having a lot of different key profiles. It's just not only GMK. That's interesting. Anyways, KAM is the little brother of Cat profile, if you so want. This is the second set that's inspired by Isle of Dogs, if I remember correctly. There was an SA set.
Yes, there was. Yes.
Of it. Yeah, it's KAM Little Pilot. In the uniform KAM profile, you get a lot of, as it's usual with this kits, with this type of keycaps, you get a lot of different kits. That should cover pretty much anything you need. And yeah, it's interesting colorway. It's interestingly also very different from the other Isle of Dogs inspired key set. So it's fascinating to see people deriving so different things from the same movie. It's a rather classic color combination overall. You got the I think Japanese sub-legend or tertiary legends.
Yeah.
In place. Yeah, I mean, I can't see anything largely wrong with it. I mean, it has ISO support.
It does. It does have ISO support.
But,
yes.
What more should I say? No, I like it.
Yeah, I think it looks
Seems
really,
nice.
really good. Yeah, so there's probably a few things for me. I mean, I think you're right in terms of compatibility. You know, from all of these different kits, I can't see anything that's actually missing. You could offer some different options, like Eskimojo's Lich set did, where it introduced the North and the South kind of kits for different language variations and things like that as well. Your camera's going dark again, Kwer.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure over there.
It's lost focus and thought, this is me. Not this. So
well, there we go. So there's loads of different kit options and things that you can cover, and I can't really see anything missing, and the prices are pretty good as well. So just in terms of the pricing, the kits are all, you know, under $40 for each kit. So even if you need 3 or 4 kits, it's only going to be, you know, circa $100 or so to get what you need. It's not going to be particularly expensive. It is running on Z Frontier, My Keyboard, and the Key Company, which are usual proxies, and it's also added a Desk Hero for you Canadian buyers as well. So if you look at the Canadian dollar prices and think they're the actual dollar prices, don't forget that Canadian dollars are basically worthless. Sorry, Geo, not sorry. Yeah, that's why the prices are slightly different there. But it's all looking pretty good, and I think for the amount of compatibility offers, you know, I think it's really good. One of the things that I do want to mention, though, is the shine. I don't know if you noticed this, Kwer, but it's certainly some of the renders at the bottom of this interest check, if I can scroll back down to it, these keycaps are very, very, very shiny. And I'm not sure I've seen any dye sublimated keycaps that come out this shiny at the end of the process. So I'll be interested to see how that looks when they come into production.
That is true. I didn't notice that. What other camp sets did we already have? Thinking.
I don't think we've actually seen any run. I can't think of any cam sets that have actually gone into production yet.
And then this is going to be really interesting.
Oh, interestingly, Metallic Charles is saying that these aren't renders. This is an actual picture. These are actual keycaps.
That could, yeah.
Wow. Okay, if they're actual keycaps, I'm very impressed. I definitely want to pick up a set of this and get these. Wow. Yeah. Starry Night. Yes, right. You're right, guys. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Sample photos. Yeah. Reading. It's should happen sometimes.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Also, shout out for the grid having the 4 keys on the top. That's very impressive as well.
Yeah.
Like that. That's the best layout for the grid. Yeah. Really impressive. These are the actual keycaps. I'm colorly impressed. I'm going to be reaching out to Jason to get a set of these because they look great. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these remind me of the HSA keycaps in terms of how shiny they are, and I really like the HSA keycaps as well. They were really nice. So yeah.
Not
your camera is not recognizing your face.
It's getting late for the camera too, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, very impressed, and definitely want to check this out. So please, guys, do go take a look. Lots of compatibility. Very little missing from compatibility. Colors work well together. Based on the Isle of Dogs. Pretty cheap in terms of kits. Available everywhere. There's a proxy for every area. So yeah, go check it out, guys. Okay, so moving on then, we've now got Cat Drifter. So moving from Cam to Cat. This is also from the Key Company as well. So there's the link into chat, guys. So this is a set that we saw run last year. So you might have seen this run in DSA as Cat. And Kwer's getting something out of a drawer. So I'm wondering if this is... if he's going to show us the actual set.
Keep on talking. Keep on talking.
Okay, I'll let him carry on. So some nice different renders here on the SP111 from Blind Assassin, a board that's in group buy right now, if you like split boards. And there's some interesting things going on with the kits here. So last time when we saw these kits run, we saw it run with the light alphas and have a number of different choices from that perspective. This time there's the light alphas and also a dark alpha version as well. However, there are some inconsistencies with this when we start to look at some of the wider kits. So when we start to look at the Modifiers Kit, this is very much similar to the kits that ran in DSA. It gives you TKL support and all of the different shift keys and bottom row options as well. However, it only offers the the F row keys in the white option, so it doesn't actually match the grey seen in the grey alpha option. And the same goes for the space bars as well. So the space bar is white if you want a 7U, but if you need a 7U in grey, well, you're out of luck because there's only a grey 6.25U in the alpha kit. So some weird, interesting choices from that perspective. There is an Ergo Kit as well, which looks really good, and as far as I can tell offers pretty much all of the coverage needed for your Ergo boards. There's a number kit as well, which is all done in glyphs, which is quite interesting, and I do quite like that set too. There's also some accent keys as well, and the accent keys give you some different accent space bars and arrows and a number of other different bits and pieces, and that's kind of it. And here's Kwer showing us the original DSA version of the set. So there you go, guys, you can see what the original version looked like.
And I mean, the interesting thing is for the DSA kit, which they haven't shown off for this version yet. They're saying there might come additional kits. First, no ISO support. Oh, that's the first thing I'm going to mention. No ISO support yet. The DSA set had an ISO support kit. And the other thing is the DSA kit had different alpha options. You could also get like the with sub legends, so that you see the normal ANSI layout basically. This seems only so far has only the alien script thing alphas, which is interesting. And something else I still don't get is why there are the spacebars at all in the alpha kits, because the idea is, I think, that you can get an alpha kit and then get the modifiers you need for either Ergo docks or Ergo or TKL normal ports. But you don't need the spacebar when you're using Ergo docks, and you run into the problems like we just discussed with the gray spacebar only being in the alphas but not in the TKL modes and stuff like that. There seems to be a bit more work needed to figure out the kits overall, but I'm actually curious or fascinated by the fact that they're running the set again, because the DSA set was limited to 500 units, and they said that's it, that's never going to run again, and they found the loophole by going with another keycap profile basically.
Yeah.
So this is still a licensed kit. The interesting thing about this was licensed by the game company that did the game this is based on.
Yeah, Heart Machine Studios, yeah.
Exactly, and this is too. So this is a reprisal of that partnership. And yeah, like I said, it's interesting. From their, especially like the Dark Alpha choices, I can see that working. I'm gonna be frank. I'm not with these kind of mods.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's no renders of the Dark Alphas as well. So no Metallic Tiles is in chat. I think this one thing is probably missing from this. I know that the kits are still being worked on and they're still working out which keys are going to go in which kits and what they're going to support and how that's all going to be broken down, and that this is just a starter for that. But just in terms of the renders, there is only the light alphas on any of the renders, so it's difficult to tell what the Dark Alphas are going to look like at the minute.
And just to mention, I hope they're gonna do the sleeve again or something like this, because it's a really nice sleeve from the DSA run. Just saying.
Yeah, that looks really good. I forgot the artwork was so good on that sleeve. I have got it somewhere, I think. But yeah, it's really nice. So, yep, interested to see this one run. Again, guys, if you're looking for this, I think it's going to run in January, and more prices and details on the kits are going to come in the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Okay, moving on to what I think is our last key set of the week. This is a new group buy. Do you want to talk us through this one, Kwer?
Okay, GMK High Voltage. I'm pretty sure the IC for this was already covered.
Yes, we covered it on the show. Yeah,
I remember that. I think there have been some changes since then, but it's now gone into group buy. And it's a very particular group buy. For one, there are no renders. Well, okay, there are renders as you're showing off right now, but this doesn't look like a GMK key set to me. I don't know what profile this is, but it's definitely not GMK. And there, yeah, I don't know. It's really hard. I'm trying to I'm trying to not be as negative as it might sound, but I'm not really a fan of the set or how the group buy is started basically. So yeah, it has renders, but they're not in a quality I would assume to have for a started group buy, because it's really hard to judge the quality of the key set with this. And the layout for the renders is kind of funky, because there was a lot of back and forth, because when the group buy started, there were only the first base set, this one, visible, and the price was, I don't know, 140 something, which seemed really high for this kind of base kit. But you have to look at the second picture to see the extended base kit basically. So that's all part of the base kit. That's a lot of space bars for the base kit. And yeah, I don't know. It's a really messy group buy overall. And messy is also a good description for the colorway. I like the colors at all. I like the colors themselves, but not the way this has been laid out as a key set. I think it's too much different things going on overall.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, it's probably I'm just digging a hole deeper and deeper.
There's nothing wrong with digging a hole. Nothing wrong with digging a hole. Be honest and open. That's the best way to be.
Yeah, well.
I'll be honest. My view on this is that these renders are terrible, and they are not what should be launched for a group buy. And I don't think it's an acceptable standard or quality. I'll be blunt and say that these don't look like GMK keycaps. They look like some kind of weird hybrid between SA and, well, High Pro. I guess they look a little bit like High Pro in some lights. If you look at, so for example, some of the keys here, this caps lock, you pointed this one out to me earlier on, Kwer, so you can see the caps lock key that I'm highlighting here. That doesn't look like it's the right profile, or that the steps in the right place, or anything else. A lot of these keys look like they're skateboards. They look like they're curved like a skateboard, which is just bizarre and strange. And also the ISO enter key doesn't look quite right. It looks like there's a significant larger bottom portion than top instead of it being halfway across, and the keys just don't look like the right GMK profile, and the legends are all out of position as well. They're not in the right places, and they're different from render to render. So here you see that the legends are quite large, and are pretty much in the right spots. Then you look at a different render and the legends are quite small and are in the incorrect places. This isn't good enough in terms of what a GMK keycap set could look like. It's very, very easy to get a GMK render these days. You can speak to people like Undercover Brother, you can speak to Janglad, you can speak to Abeck, you can speak to Max Surfer, you can speak to Metallic Charles, and all of the other great renderers that I've missed. And for the sake of a few dollars and a couple of days, they can do you a great render that will give you the whole base kit in one image instead of splitting it over two, which is really confusing and makes it difficult to understand what the value of what you're buying is. And it also gives you the opportunity to see what it looks like in, you know, a kind of more realistic setting and on real boards that people know, rather than just generic TKLs, which, you know, I'm not even sure what that board is. I couldn't name it. You know, it's overly generic. So these absolutely are not good enough in terms of running a group buy, is my view. The colours, again, like you said, Kwer, I like the colours. I don't think they work as a set together. What I would actually think that is the best option for this set is to just run it as a novelty set, and just you run it as an add-on. You have these, you know, 15, 20 keys, whatever this is. You run this as an add-on set to go with other GMK sets, and people can use it as kind of like a mix and match, put a key in here, key in there, to their other GMK sets to spice it up a little bit and make it a little bit more fun. The rest of the kit breakdown is really weird. You've got this really weird novelties continued kind of thing, and it just like, why isn't it on the same page as the original novelties? You know, it doesn't make sense why that's not there. The spacebar kit has some stuff that's already covered in the base kit that's then recovered in the spacebar set, and again, I'm not quite sure why that's the case. The ortho set doesn't cover everything either, and again, you've got key duplication in different places too. So I just think that the kits haven't been thought out well. The renders aren't great. There's no visibility of what this would look like on a modern board, and the colours are a little bit of a whilst the colours are nice, they're a little bit of a mess all over. And I absolutely think this would work better as just an accent kit like Mr. Sleeves or something like that for the novelties only. That being said, the one redeeming factor to this is the Rama Artisan, which I really, really, really like. That red Artisan with the lightning bolt on it, that is really, really nice. I do think that's great. Rama, I haven't seen a Rama cap that I disliked yet, and this is keeping it up there for me as well. So very, very interested in the Rama cap, even if I didn't buy the actual base kit.
Absolutely. And it's kind of interesting that the style of the Rama cap isn't anywhere in the base kits or something, because I think this would have been, I mean, you have the yellow version as a novelty, yeah, but I think this one looks much better in the red and yellow. Yeah, much nicer combo. Yeah, it's, I don't know, the whole thing is all over the place, and I think that's my main problem with it. It's like with other key sets we already had, it's like there's no clear line to follow somehow.
Yeah,
it doesn't make it easier to talk about it.
No, And do you know what? My opinions might change entirely on how much I like or dislike the set, depending on what the renders would really look like. And it's a real shame that this set has gone into group buy without having that forethought made. You know, for the sake of a, you know, not even $100, they could have had a very, very different group buy experience for people. So, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, as Chet already mentioned, there haven't been other sets that have been better planned, like GMK Sparta, for instance, that have been cancelled for other reasons, or at least put on the back burner. And I kind of expect that this set has the same fate going for it. I think it won't finish the group buy run.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see.
Let's say it should probably maybe take a step back, do proper renders, do proper layouts, and then come again. Because it might, as you said, it might change the perception if you have like proper renders of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's our key set coverage done for today. Next, we're going to jump over to something that's a little bit close to my heart, and we're going to talk about something that, well, two things really. This is kind of two news items in one, so I'll put the link in. The first one is, yes, I've opened a small store. I don't want to use Clack to shield myself or anything like that, because I think that's a little bit untasteful. But if you guys are interested, I've opened up a small store. I'm doing so much in the community now, it makes sense to, rather than just run through everything through Google Forms, to actually have some where I can put my little projects and run them properly, and also not impact my personal tax position in the UK. So it is all legitimate now, and it just gives me a little bit more freedom to try and bring good things to the community. So that out of the way, self-shill over. The one thing that I'm running this year with the Key Company and Switch Keys in Australia is a keyboard calendar. So this is up for pre-order at the moment. It's going to be opening on the Key Company tomorrow, and it's going to be opening on Switch Keys today, I think. I think today, yeah, because it'll be Friday already in Australia, so it'll be open today there in Australia as well. Now this is designed by Wilson1155, who is in chat today. So Wilson, thank you very much for that. He came up with the design, he picked all of the images, he gained all of the permissions to use them, and he put everything together, and all that I've done is help turn it into a reality by using some connections and, you know, running all of that kind of stuff. So this will be $20 in the US or $18.99 in the UK. Tax difference do mean there's a bit of a difference between the prices, and it's a keyboard calendar, a different picture for every month of the year. It's going to be full color, it's going to be nice and glossy, it's going to be exactly what you want with the calendar. You have a little rail that you can hook it up on, and we just thought it'd be a fun thing to do for the community, something a little bit different, and try and do something different. Yes, the Key Company does have full images. Sadly, because I'm doing this part-time on my store, the level that you have to buy Shopify for, I didn't want to pay that much money because it's just not worthwhile for me. So I bought the budget version of Shopify, which only gives me the limit of 5 pictures per item. So yeah, so if you do want to see the other ones, we can go over to the Key.company, and you can see here that all of the images are up here. And the other reason why I didn't want to show all of the images is because the first one's one of my boards, and I thought that would be a self-shilling again, so I didn't want to self-shill too much. But there's some great pictures in here from people like Tanishock, a Vox Key from Smith and Rune. We've got Simple Lives as well with a great TCV3. Kwer, one of you, there's a couple of your pictures in here as well, Kwer. I mean, that Germany shot is absolutely fantastic. So
thank you.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there's another shot from you. There you go, your famous Anzi shot as well, with the JO1 peeking out in the corner there as well. So yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason you selected it, right? So more boards from you.
I didn't select any of these pictures. This is all on Wilson. He was the guy that curated the list of pictures and stuff like that. So yeah, and then we've also got the Molly and a TXCP, and also one from Vicky as well, which is Space 65 and 2 versions of Nautilus. So yeah, if you are interested in this, guys, it is up for group buy. Kwer, any thoughts?
Well, I've got to be. I mean, this features 2 of my pictures, so it has a very good, tasteful selection, obviously, and I think the idea is great. I think this is the first time that anybody does this kind of thing, and I think it's a good step. A lot of colleagues have like calendars for their hobbies, especially cars. That has a lot of this, and I can't wait for next year when I can hang this up in the office and show everyone the nice sides of keyboards. That there's more to that than just the few that I show off in the office from now and then. So yeah, I think this is a nice project, just in time for the next year. So this should hopefully arrive for January. And what's more to say? It's calendar. You have nice pictures of keyboards to look at every month.
Yeah, so it will be a wall-based calendar, so it'll have the whole perforated edges for people that are asking in chat, and you'll be able to hang it up. It's 16:9 in terms of profile, so the images might... The website kind of skews the images a little bit, but it will be perfectly fine for that. And they are in production at the minute. As soon as we've actually got one that's physical that we can take a picture of, we will do. But this project has literally been in the works for about less than a week, so it's gone from idea to actually being in production in less than a week. So it's something that we've tried to get out as quick as possible because we realised it's really close to the end of the year if people want calendars for 2020, so we wanted to try and do it as fast as we could. So I hope you guys are interested. If you are, you can hit that up on Prototypist if you're in the EU, which is my store, prototypist.net, Key Company if you're in the US, and also Switch Keys if you're in Australia, or any of the Asian communities as well. So feel free to go check that out, guys. What's next on the list, Kwer?
I'm just checking that I have the right tab order now, and good thing I checked. The next thing is so cute. It's the Key Plushie, and I mean, what more is there to say? It's a plushie of a MX switch, right? And it's super cute.
Yeah.
I think with this we just now really gone beyond the cuteness factor for this episode, and I just want to cuddle it. So I think it's nice color selection. That's a really good color combo. It looks super fluffy. It looks super soft. And yeah, if you're looking for something so you can cuddle with something that's keyboard related. I mean, normally these are a bit hard to cuddle with because aluminium or metal. Sometimes plastic, but that's also very hard to cuddle with. I tried. Yeah, we've seen more of these things, like these tangentially related things popping up. I think Novelties did at least one plushie, the Novel Olives. Oh, and Gatoron, right? Two. And yeah, the more the merrier. And I think this is the cutest one yet, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, so I really like this. I think it's great. I think it's it's nice to have all these kind of add-ons and features and little cute things to have around. I mean, I've got a Gatoron. I've got one of the olive ones coming as well. I do think I kind of agree with what Classy said here. I usually expect these to kind of be in stock and you just buy them rather than in a group buy, because this is a group buy for these. So whilst there's some that are already existing, as you can see from the real life sample, this does start on the 9th of December and it runs through to January the 3rd, and it's going to ship around April. That being said, I think the prices are okay. $20 depending on whether you want to pick it up in the US, or $30 if you want to pick it up in Australia. And there is also a desk mat that's matching as well, so you can see here that this desk mat does match the plushie too, and it's got the little key switch on there as well. But yeah, I think it's just nice to have different things in the hobby, and nice to have different, as you say, tangentially related things. So we've had artisans for a long time, we've had different coloured keycaps for a long time. Now we're starting to get plushies, and we're having, we'll talk about in a second, t-shirts and things like that as well. So always good to have new things and different opportunities for us to express our love and appreciation for the hobby. And I'll definitely be picking one of these up because I think they're great. I think it's super cute, so I definitely want one.
And it's something to start off the young ones with. So
Yeah, right. Get them involved in the hobby early. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think the only slight disappointment, no EU proxy for us, Kwer, but we'll see what we can do to get hold of some.
Do we know someone who just opened a store in a country that's currently still in the EU?
Oh, don't, because the elections just happened, Kwer, and I don't even want to talk about the politics side of stuff.
I've seen the first poll results. It's not looking good, but let's skip that. Well, hopefully maybe they're gonna add something, a EU vendor, or maybe someone from the EU is willing to organize a little mini group buy for these. We'll see. There's still time. I think they're running until first week of January, I think. So there's still a bit of time left to organize something in that direction.
Absolutely. So Steph and Jason, if you're watching and you want an EU proxy, we'll sort something out. Cool. Okay. So speaking of tangentially related group buys, let's jump over to the next one, and this is very much close to the Top Clack crowd as well, because this is being run by our very own Straight Classy. So he is in chat today, and this is a T-shirt that he's designed for the Linear Gang, for those that like linears. So Kwer, do you want to talk us through this a little bit and give us your thoughts?
Sure. It's a great T-shirt with the font, with a nice font on it, and it says Linear Gang. That's it.
Yep, that's it, pretty much. So it's really simple. It's a piece of apparel that you can wear, and it's I like to call this kind of thing geek undercover, because you can express your geekiness without anyone realizing that you are doing something that's particularly nerdy. People aren't, necessarily going to stop and try and pay attention to what the text says. They're just going to see a nice, casual, smart T-shirt, but yet you're really actually displaying something that's quite nerdy, quite geeky, quite into a niche community and hobby, and expressing your love for that. And I really like this, so I've already picked one of these up from Straight Classy as well. Definitely joined for this, but yeah, just thought I'd shout it out for you guys. $21 shipped in the USA. This isn't being done for profit, it's being very much done at cost. The MOQ is for 15, and I think he's already passed that, I think, from speaking to him the other day. So it's looking good, and I can't wait to get hold of my T-shirt. I mean, I paid 2 days ago and I don't have my T-shirt yet, so I'm very frustrated with this, but
scam.
A scam. Scam. There we go. Cool.
It also might be a nice conversation starter. Like
right.
Somebody like, what's Linear Gang? Like, are you in a gang now? What's happening?
Yeah. Are you gonna have gang tattoos and stuff like that? And stuff? I don't know. The other thing as well, I was just saying as well, so maybe this will work for you next time, Straight Classy, but I would really like a version of this that was on a nice polo shirt with an embroidered logo across the chest. That would be perfect, because I could wear that for work then as well. So definitely something we need to look at. Okay, and speaking of T-shirts, we've got another one up next. So what's this one, Kwer?
This one is continuing the we're not shilling anything year. It's the Top Clack T-shirt with a quote inspired by yours truly, I think.
Yes.
Do the thing, click the button, send the money. I think, exactly. In the page, you can actually click the link and get the exact quote from the episode it's based on. Again, rather simple T-shirt overall. A bit more memey probably than the other one, I'd say, or a bit more specific. But I like the quote. The T-shirt is done nicely. If you're hunting for T-shirts, why not this?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you said, Kwer, this is a thing that I said when we were talking about the GMK Pretty in Pink add-on kit, and I said, do the thing, click the button, send the money, which Brian really liked the quote at the time, so it was good fun. Mountain Blocks has done this really nice take on it, put it on a nice soft T-shirt. So it's going to be the same as the Modern Dolch T-shirts, which are some of the softest T-shirts I've ever bought and feel really, really nice to wear. And then, of course, he's added the switch key in there as well, with both the British GBP pound symbol as well for our currency here, here, and also the US dollar symbol as well. So really nice bringing that together. And then on the rear of the t-shirt as well, there's just a Mountain Blocks by Top Clack logo as well, which just goes across the back of the neck, which is really nice too. So again, I've already picked one of these up. If you guys want to support Mountain Blocks and buy one of these t-shirts, please feel free to go ahead and pick one of these up, and you can find that on his website here, which is the link just in chat. So this closes on the 28th of December, and the shirts will ship before the end of January, so it's going to be quite a quick turnaround time as well. So yeah, expect these to be on stream soon, because I've already bought mine. So yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to think, is there anything else?
You skipped one.
Did I skip one? What did I skip? Tell me what I skipped. Oh yeah,
the titanium meme.
Oh gosh, I can't remember that. This is where I have to show the news doc live on stream. The titanium meme.
The Artisan Box.
Oh yes, I did. I missed it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay. So last IC. Talk us through this one then, Kwer. Take us through it.
Well, I skipped ahead a bit, but yeah, this is the IC for the round 2 of the Kalam I think that's Kalam or Kalam Artisan Box, which is a 4x4 artisan storage device with actual RGB backlighting for each key, so you can highlight the especially like backlighted keys. And it's a nice presentation and storage way if you have a rather larger collection or you want to present it in a really good, nice looking way. There are 2 options basically. You got the basic aluminum version, which is the one that's shown off here, and that's why I said the titanium meme, because you can also get the same thing in a titanium version. And there's a bit of a price difference between those two, and
yeah,
it's rather staggering. The aluminium version is $99 plus shipping, and the titanium version is $399 plus shipping. Which is, I mean, we all know titanium is expensive as material. It's expensive to machine. It can look rather nice. There's the titanium Damascus cap that Salvan is working on, or this crystalline titanium. I don't know what's the correct term for it is, but honestly, if the box in titanium looks like the picture that's in the IC, I think it would be too much. You want to show off the caps and not the box itself. So
yeah,
the empty box would probably look better than with the keycaps in it. So I'm not really sure where this is going with that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I would say is that most artisans cost upwards of, you know, $100, especially on the aftermarket as well. Anyway, I know in Group Buy they range from between $30 and $100 or whatever. But there is a lot of artisans out there, and most people who collect them will have collections where they'll have 10 caps, and it will easily be worth more than $1,000. So dropping something like $99 on a really nice protective case that shows them off well with RGB backlighting isn't too you know, out there in terms of price. There's very much budget options where you can pick up a case for $12-15, but this is absolutely something that a lot of people will like to utilize and have, especially if they like that RGB piece. I do think the $399 titanium one is, as you said, Kwer, a little bit on the extreme side. I like the finish of that titanium board, and if it's the same, it's quite nice, but again, I think it would detract from the actual quality of the keycaps that you've got that you're trying to display. For me, a very much less flashy version of the keycap holder would be much nicer. So something that's a little bit more understated, a bit more muted, something that allows the caps to speak for themselves rather than a flashy container for them is definitely something that I would prefer. That being said, in terms of the design, it's quite simple. It's very much a milled aluminium block that has got standoffs and cutouts for the caps to go in. To me, they do look like they're a little bit big. It looks like that they aren't going to hold the caps snugly, and they're going to have move around and things like that.
Yeah.
And when you look at the version with the lid on as well, I'm pretty sure if you tip that upside down, the caps would fall out of their slots and they would move around all inside as well, which could lead to some damage of them as well. So I would like to see those separators raised a little bit to prevent that from happening, and maybe tightened up a little bit as well. That being said, this is round 2. Now, I haven't ever seen one of these in real life, so I don't know if that's the case. I may be wrong in that assumption, but it does look like there's too much gap between the glass and the separators for that to take place. So be interested to see how that is in real life.
Yeah, and since based on the backlighting system they have in place for it, you can't have any like stems or something to really hold them in place. So yeah, I agree. This might be a more tumbler than a
Yeah, but if you want to keep it on your desk and just have it look nice, then maybe it will work for you. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. But I think it should be also designed as a transportation box, because I mean, that's kind of the thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
It is. So, I think it'd be fine. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah.
It does look like it's nice quality. Just as I say, I'd be a bit worried about the keycaps moving around inside, but it does look like there's plenty of headroom. So if you've got larger keycaps with extended designs, I say, everything like that, they would fit quite well in there.
I mean, something like this could be a bit problematic if you put it in something that's done for normal round 1 keys.
Of course, yeah.
Row.
Nice little flex there as well, Kwer. Thank you very much for that.
Okay. I also have a larger one, but that's not as much flex. But this one was the easiest to grab. So.
Right. Sorry. Okay. Fair enough. I'll let you off with that one then. Okay, and that does take us to the end of the news doc. So we're now going to roll into our sponsor segment. And whilst we talk about our sponsors in just 1 second, guys, if you want to start to put some questions in chat for Kwer and I to answer, you can tag @TopClack. I'll read them out and we'll give you an answer. You can ask anything you'd like, whether it's keyboard related or not. So feel free to do that.
Before we start with the sponsorship segment, I'm going to grab another glass of water because I'm a bit throat sore.
You do that while I'm talking. No, you do that while I'm talking through the sponsors, and then when you come back, we'll roll straight into the other section.
That's just my easy way out, because last time I messed this up, so I don't want to do it again.
Okay, guys. First up this week, we have got Novelties. Novelties is run by the lovely Mike. They have been in the recent meetups in America. I think it was SoCal meetup at the past weekend. If you are interested in anything on Mike's site, you might want to check out GMK Olivia. The group buy is going on at the moment. It's already sold hundreds and hundreds of kits and is set to become one of the largest group buys for a key set that we've seen. Olivia round 2. Multiple different bass kits. You can pick up the light bass, the dark bass, Novelties, ISO, Rama keys, all sorts of different things on there, so please do feel free to check that out. As well as Olivia++, there is also these really nice desk pads. Mr. Petrov, I am very disappointed that you got one of the prototypes of this, because this is quite possibly one of the nicest desk mats I've seen. I have a real soft spot for mandala type designs, and I really like these, so feel free to check those out as well. As well as that, there is I was going to talk about the switch testers, but they are sold out, so these are no longer available now, but they were available earlier on when I was looking at the site. I was going to talk about how all the different options from there, but as well as that, Mike does also have all of the different switches and other bits and pieces you could possibly want, from Yoke Trash Pandas to pretty much everything from Gatoron and Novelties box switches as well. So if you guys want to take a look at these big switches too, you can find pretty much anything you want in terms of switch on Mike's site, so feel free to go check those out. And if you do want to save some money, you can use the code CLACKERS, that's CLACKERS, and that will get you 5% off anything that's not in group buy. Moving over to Zeal PC, we've got zealpc.net. On Zeal PC's site, you can pick up all sorts of different bits and pieces from Zeal's V2 range. So you've got all of the standard switches that he always has, such as the Zealio's V2, which are quite possibly some of the best tactile switches on the market right now, as well as the silent versions, the Tiffany Blue Telios, which are possibly the smoothest linears on the market as well, and I've also got the turquoise Telio switches, which are the new version. version, which are the boutique ones, which have a turquoise housing as well. So feel free to check those out if you're interested, and feel free to use our affiliate link, which is zealpc.net/topclack, if you want to give us a small kickback. Jumping over to Kono.store, Kono have pretty much every key set running at the minute on there. Everything from GMK Ursa to GMK Umbra to GMK ASCII to GMK Sharkbait. You name it, they've got it. Yugo needs a bit of love, so please do show some of these keycaps some support if you want to help them get to MOQ. There's lots of group buys going on right now, including GMK 9's round 2 as well from EMEA, so lots of different opportunities there, as well as GMK Shoko coming back early next year as well. So feel free to check out Kono. They do have all sorts of other stuff on there as well, including the Hex Gears boards, which are back up for pre-order if you want to help someone get into the hobby and to try and reintroduce them to mechanical keyboards or anything else like that as well. So feel free to check that out. Jumping over to the beast in the east, it is KBDfans. So Way and Co have a lot of different things on the store that you can check out at the moment. The thing they've got in group buy right now is the laser on switches. So I have some of these, and I'll be building a polycarbonate canoe in the next couple of weeks with the pink variation of this switch, which is the 70 gram. There is also the 60 gram, which comes in the cyan colour you saw before, and these are $6.50 for 10 switches, so you can kit out a whole board relatively cheaply, and these are shipping in the next couple of weeks as well. So the hope is that you'll get these early in the new year. It's not a group buy where you're going to have to wait a long time for them, and they are produced in collaboration with Mito as well. So feel free to go check those out. If you're looking for something else, then you know, KBDfans probably has it and can probably help get you into the hobby or provide you with whatever you need in terms of cases, PCBs, you know, boards, full layout, keycaps. They have pretty much everything available in stock to help you get up and running, and they offer build services as well, so please feel free to go check those out. They have some great starter kits, some great boards to help you get into the hobby, and you know, if you're looking for something fast and easy and cheap, they're probably going to be able to provide you with what you need. Finally, jumping over to our final sponsor today, it is the Key.company. We've already spoken about them. They've got the calendar up for sale right now as well. I think that starts in a couple of hours actually, as well as the SP11, so you can join the SP11. That ends on December the 27th, so just a few weeks left on this one now as well, where you can pick up all sorts of different bits and pieces for it. The full board is only $399. It comes in a variety of different colours, black, blue and E-white, and then you've got all of the different layouts and everything else it supports as well, so definitely worthwhile taking a look. In terms of their other products as well, they've got KAM Little Pilot, which we talked about earlier on. We've seen some actual pictures of these, which I didn't realise they were. I thought they were renders, but you've got all of the different kits available for these, which is some very, very high compatibility, you know, in terms of the layouts available from there as well. And finally, they've also got the Key Plushie, which Kwer and I both adored, available on the store as well for pre-order too. So feel free to go and check them out. Okay, so that's the sponsor segment done. I'm going to just quickly slide back over to the two-person chat screen, and I think we've got a few questions in chat. Please do tag @TopClack so we can see your questions, and we'll do a short Q&A section before we round out the stream, because we have been going for 2 hours now, and I did promise Kwer we wouldn't go past 2 hours, so we'll give it 5 minutes or so, and then we'll start to wrap up the stream. So first question comes from Not Geo, and he says something elections something, not a real question. So I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer, because I'm not very happy with my country at the minute, because the elections have not been particularly good.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah. Mike Click says, Jay, you had a set of HSA keycaps a while back, and since then we've only seen the black on black and the white on black sets in group. Sorry, the brown on beige and the white on black sets in group buy. Any idea when some other sets may run? I really expected the profile to take off like Cap did. So there's a lot of different options for these keycaps. So HSA is going to come back, and JTK and my keyboard, who have been running the group buys and have a good relationship, they they want to make sure that they get the first couple of sets out there before they start to run anymore. So they don't want a situation where you've got 10 keycap sets that are all stacked up, queuing, waiting to be produced, when no one's had a chance to try these keycaps out yet. So, you know, the best thing to do is to get the profile out there, let people make sure they like it with the first couple of group buys, get plenty of community feedback in that, you know, from that perspective, and then from there start to offer more group buy capability. So there will be more sets coming in that profile. I've already spoken to the Necros about some opportunities in the future as well, and I know other people have too. So it's just a case of waiting for those 2 keycap sets to come out, making sure that everyone's happy with them, making sure that the quality's there, tweaking what needs to be tweaked, and then going on to produce more keycaps as well. Any thoughts, Kwer, on HSA?
I'm still dying to try it out, to actually have it under my fingers. But I think it's a really nice idea of a profile, and I'm really looking forward to the first sets to finish and get in people's hands, and maybe based on that to have a few modifications for future rounds. One of my main points in the current run, or the current running rounds, don't have any ISO or maybe extended ISO support on international kit or whatever, which is set to be supported in later rounds. So I'll have to wait for those to actually buy a set that I can use.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I have tried a full set out, but it was only ANSI. It wasn't ISO. But yes, in future rounds, those will be available. So I'll probably be picking up at that point as well. Okay, Jace the Poop Scooper, what a name, what a username. It says, did I miss you covering the KBDfans Pebble kit? No, I wasn't aware it was in group buy yet. I thought it was still only in pre-interest check. If we've missed it, drop me a link on Discord and I'll make sure it gets onto the news doc for next week and we'll cover it there. 10 Strong, he says, did you guys see the Kale Choc stabs this week? Also, how many sales do you think do each of you expect for High Voltage now that it started? Okay, so first questions first. I hadn't seen the Kale Choc stabilizers for low profile, but they do look kind of interesting. Are they only plate mount? Is that the only option you've got? Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't seen that you could buy them, but yeah, it's nice to see that they're up on Space Cat Design. Yeah, I wasn't aware, but yeah, okay. It'd be good if people want to build low profile boards. Absolutely, yeah. Kwer, what do you think on GMK High Voltage? How do you feel that's going to do? Give us a number. How many sets do you think that's going to sell?
Oh man, that's hard. I don't know. I think 30 sets, maybe. 30.
Wow. Okay. I think that's high. I think that's really high.
I know.
It's difficult to put on them. The thing is, I think the set could do okay, and if it ran in a different month than December, I think it could probably do okay in terms of hitting MOQ and things like that. Because I think there's some custom colours in there, so it's going to be 250 as MOQ. I don't see it making that on its own, but that being said, maybe the vendors will buy it out, maybe it will get there.
I honestly, I don't think it will come close to buyout stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive as well because there's quite a lot of keys in the base kit, which are going to put off a lot of people. There's multiple different kits. It's not really clear what you're buying as well, and I think the lack of clarity around it doesn't help either. That's going to make it a struggle too. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Oh no, somebody mentioned Handarbeit. Oh.
Yeah, well, the reason Handarbeit made MOQ is because of the history behind the set, and whether you like it or not, Kwer, you have to admit that if that set had never been made by GMK, we probably wouldn't have the community we have around keycaps today.
I've been on record saying that I appreciate the historic value of the key set.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it has to be remade. You can look at pretty pictures of it and be done with it. It doesn't have to exist as a key set. But it's okay. I mean, if people buy it, there's market for it. It's all good. It's all fine.
Do you want to know what my plan for Handarbeit is?
Throwing it away when you get it? I don't know.
It's going to go on my IDB 60 prototype.
Okay. Well,
so
that's
So the IDB60, for those that you don't know, was marketed as a board designed for OG caps, and I can't think of anything more OG than Handabite, right? So
pretty much true.
There we go. Okay, so we seem to have run out of questions, guys, but if you do have any, we've got a few minutes left on the stream. Do tag us at TopClack. Feel free to ask away. It can be anything. It can be personal. It can be anything related to keyboards or streaming or podcasts or anything like that. But Kwer, we'll just wait and see if any more questions come in. Do you want to tell us about what's happening with the international kit, what you've got coming up, any new things for 2020, any news, gossip?
We're still in the planning phase actually for the next year. We have a few ideas, as it usually is, but developing ideas is kind of hard actually. Making something that's viable and made for longevity takes time actually, and we hope we don't have another long pause which we had end of last year, start of this year, basically. We're very much hoping that is not the case, but it's also we're both having a lot of timing issues often enough. So there's a reason why we're not doing our show like weekly or even like on a fixed rhythm. We're trying to have a fixed rhythm, but often enough it just doesn't work out. So we're trying to work on that for next year and maybe mix up the format a bit. Because as you might have noticed or not noticed, depending on from which person you come, it's kind of hard to do a podcast or any show talking about keyboards without going through like the regular content is like group buys and ICs and stuff like that. And we said we're trying to stay away from that because that it's hard to do if you do it audio only, because not seeing things is kind of hard. And that makes it hard to have regular content, because then you're just like having to either work very long on a topic or get lucky and have like a newsworthy item you can talk a lot about. And that's something we're working on, to figure out how you can mix certain things to have like a regular schedule with irregular programming, basically, or like ideas, topics. So
sure, yeah,
we'll see.
Okay, but interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to more news from you anyway, and more content to listen to. So
yeah, maybe we're just ending up like that company whose brand is more worth than the company itself in the end. So like we're only remembered for stuff like this more than the actual podcast, but we'll see. We hope it's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I have two of these now, so I need to get another set of my own black to put it with. So yeah.
Well, if we're flexi, no, I'm not going down that far.
You have a bag full somewhere, don't you? That's what it is.
A few are, yeah, a few.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to more content. So guys, do check out the international kit, catch up on all the back catalogue of podcasts. I do feature in one of the early episodes, so if you're interested in that, go check it out. But they've had some really famous people on there, such as Olivia, and lots of nice conversation around different topics as well. Some quite controversial topics as well. You guys have touched on at times, which is always good to hear your thoughts on. So yeah, do go check that out. In terms of upcoming content from Top Clack, I'll have a build stream on Sunday. That'll start at 8 PM UK, which is noon PST or 3 PM in EST. I'm not sure what I'll be building yet. It's probably going to be my TGR Singer Unicorn collaboration board, which came the other day because I've been waiting for it for so long. It's I mean, I think you've had yours like 6 months now, Kwer. Yeah, I out-delayed Kwer, which if you know Kwer, he usually causes most group buys to be delayed. So I finally got mine in the lovely velvet colour, so I'll be hopefully building that on Sunday. If not, then I do have a plethora of other boards I could build, so The problem is, right, this is what happens. I get a board and I want to build it and I put it in a box into one side. And then I get another board and I want to build it and I put it in the box to one side. And eventually that pile gets so high and I keep putting new boards on the top. But then whenever I do a build stream, I just take the board off the top and build it. And there's some boards in there, like the Doro 67 is right at the bottom of the pile. I had it 6 months and haven't built it. And it's just sat there. So, yeah, that's where we are.
There's not a lot of reason to get it out of the pile before other boards you have in there, I think. And you're really, really poor man for having such a problem.
Thank you, Kwer. Thank you for feeling my pain. So I did a count earlier on. There's 27 boards in that pile right now that I need to build, which, yeah, it frustrates me at times because I don't have time to stream more than once a week, and
well, you know what you could do? You could maybe do like something, I don't know, like a 24-hour stream and build one keyboard after the other. That should clear out at least some boards.
Yeah, so Brian and I are looking at doing something like that, and of course we'll have guests on and stuff. It's just been a terrible year for us to get it scheduled, but it will happen. It will happen. Ron DGS question, he says, Talk Clack J, any new keyboard in the works? So the JO2 launches in February, and that's the group. There's some announcements on the group buy coming this week in terms of what the board's colour options and things like that will look like. And then in the new year, there'll be the dates and prices announced as well in the first week of January. So lots of new information coming on the JO2. I did also tease on Instagram the other day, if you guys follow me, about the J0.4, which is effectively the fourth board in the series, which will be a 40%. So instead of it being the J04, it's the J0.4, which is for 40%, which is kind of a
the Jagger.
Or the Jagger, which is what the 40s Discord have sillily called it, but gotta love those folks over there. So
they are a special kind.
They are a special kind. They're a very special kind. They're very lovely people. They're very memey people, but they're a very special kind. So the 0.4 we're running then, and towards the back end of this month, the JO1 raffle for the charity board will finish on the 23rd of December and be drawn on the 26th of December. And then in January, the second 2 weeks of January, so I think it's the 13th onwards, there'll also be the high bid sale for the final JO1 board, which will be for charity as well. So there'll be a full A stock board that goes up for sale in January, and the highest bidder will get that board, and all of that money will go to charity along with all of the raffle tickets as well. Other than that, anything else I haven't talked about is still secret and not to be shared just yet. But there is more stuff coming, so yeah.
And what about your key sets? Apart from keyboards?
Key sets. So Midnight Rainbow is still happening. It has got a date. I'm not allowed to share it just yet, but Mikey's running that on Novelties, and it'll be run on mykeyboard.eu as well. There is 2 other projects in the works as well, but I can't talk about them either. But one is HSA, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Lots going on though. Lots going on. Yeah. But there we go.
That's a lot of things you're planning for next year.
Lots of projects, right? Now you see why I had to set up a store, because if I didn't, I'd just lose track of everything. Then it keeps me accountable, and it means I have to follow through with stuff and not just drop the projects to one side when I get bored of them. So, yeah, it's a way of keeping myself honest. But yeah,
that's a nice plan.
Cool. So I think that's it. There's no more questions coming through, so we're going to wrap up the stream there, guys. Thank you very much for joining this week. Thank you very much to Kwer for joining at short notice. I gave him about 5 hours notice before the stream started, so thank you very much, dude, for staying up and getting no sleep to support Top Clack. It's very much
Team
appreciated.
No Sleep.
Team No Sleep, yeah.
Like, it's no problem at all. I'm always happy to do this.
Excellent. Okay, you can cover for me next week and the week after then over Christmas, if you like.
Christmas! But no, you guys probably doing an end of the year stream, right? Like
we will be. Yes, there will be an end of year stream coming up as well. So yeah, there might be some opportunity to get some guests on and do some different things. So we'll be in touch with that. Thank you very much to anyone who donated bits or subscribed to Top Clack. We genuinely appreciate the support. So thank you very much to everyone. Even if I missed you during the stream, we do really appreciate that. It helps us to keep doing what we love to do. Again, just wish Brian you know, get well soon, and wish him all the best, because he is in incredible pain at the moment. So I hope he's feeling better soon, and I'm sure you'll send all your love as well. There's Gasp subscribing, April Keyboards. Thank you very much. 2 months worth of subs. Thank you. It's very, very kind of you. And yeah, we'll be back on stream next week. I'll be back on Sunday. We'll see you there, and then the show will be back next Thursday at the normal time as well. So again, finally, thank you, Kwer, for joining. Any final thoughts?
I'm too tired for final thoughts. Sorry. No. I just want to go to bed now.
No worries. I'm just going to join you.
Again, huge respect for you that doing this every week. This must be hard.
Yes, Megaforce very insulting towards Europeans there, so I'm going to ignore him. But thank you very much to everyone else in the chat apart from Megaforce for joining the show today and supporting us as you always do. We'll be back, as I say, on Sunday and then next week as well. So we'll take you. See you later, guys. Thanks very much for the show. Bye-bye.
Bye.